eyes shine so bright, you might go blind, blind, blind. When I walk through, they close their blinds.
Hey bestie, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be creating a soft glam look and I'll be turning this into this, and you are going to be watching me so you can find out how. I'll be starting off with a freshly washed face. This is very important because you need to remember that before you start thinking beauty, you have to think skincare. Your skin has to be fresh, washed, and wiped down before you start any makeup look. So bestie, the next step is to use your favorite moisturizer. This could be a combination of your favorite face serum and your face cream, or your body lotion or a body oil. This is to ensure that you have moisture locked into your skin before you begin your makeup routine. Brushes are very essential for good makeup application, and as a beginner I would advise that you make sure you get good brushes. This is my primer brush and I'll be using this to apply my primer. This is a dewy primer. Later on I'll be showing you what the difference between a dewy and a matte primer is. The primer actually helps the makeup stay and last longer. So if you've been applying makeup before now and you notice that sweat starts to break through your foundation and all of that, this is because you've not been making use of your primer. So make sure you get yourself a good primer today. The second primer I'll be using today is called a matte primer. I apply this into areas of my face that have and produce more oil than the others. So while I'm outside at an event or wherever it is I intend to take my makeup to, I do not have sweat leaking out of my foundation. Like I said, primers help your makeup last longer. If you are someone with oily skin, this is the only primer that you would basically be needing. It is advisable that if you have an oily skin, you make use of the matte primer. And if you are like me with the combination skin, you make use of the matte primer and the dewy primer. If you have dry skin, you make use of the dewy primer that I used earlier on in the video. Another good makeup product is your hair wax. Yes, the one you use in slicking your edges down. This can be used to give your eyebrows that slick and very defined finish. Now I'm going to be setting it in with my powder palette from MiColor. This helps me set in the brow gel and as well help my strokes from my eyebrow pencil or eyebrow gel be more defined and visible. This is a brown eyebrow pencil. Eyebrow pencils are used to create outlines and false hair strokes. So for people like me that have sparse eyebrows, we would usually use this to outline our brows to look fuller. Now if you observe, my brows are a little bit pointed downwards, but I like my brows looking lifted. So what I'm doing is using my eyebrow pencil to basically outline the shape of the brows the way I want it to be. I'm using the exact same eyebrow pencil to create hair-like strokes. With a small swirly brush, I am applying eyebrow gel. This is to make your eyebrows look more natural and fuller. Now I'll be going in with my concealer from Blossom Makeup in shade Tan. It's very important that you make use of a concealer brush because it helps the outline for your concealer look better, and your concealer application is so that your brows are highlighted. You use the concealer to clean out the mistakes from the strokes that you had already drawn earlier whilst you were tracing out your eyebrows, and it just gives it that finished look. Now I'm I'm using my concealer brush to take some of my Iman makeup foundation in shade 2 to outline the top of my brow. This is me basically finishing off the eyebrow look. This is one of my favorite beauty blenders. This is from Adventure Makeup. It is soft. So I had made this damp already, and I'm going to be using this to blend out my concealer, and later on I'll be using this to apply my foundation and blend my contour. Blending is the recipe for a seamless, smooth, beautiful makeup look. So I'm using my beauty blender to blend in my foundation. You need to blend. It has to look like skin. It has to give. Here are my two favorite concealers. The Blossom Makeup Pro Conceal in shade 2 and a lighter shade of a concealer from Classic Makeup. So I'm going with the lighter one in the inner corner, and I'm going with the regular concealer in shade Tan at the outer corner. So it has this winged effect. And then I'm still going to add some more in the middle part because I want to have this bright under eye effect. So you don't have to put as much as I'm putting in now, but I just want my face to look doll-like when I'm done. So that's why I'm doing that. Right now, I'm blending it in with my beauty blender. You ought to blend everything in so it has this smooth finish. If your makeup is not looking smooth, honey, you are not blending right. Blend until everything gets into each other and you don't know where one started. Just blend. It has to give that skin effect. Look at that yummy blending. I can watch myself blend all day. So yes, just keep blending until you get it right. Time for your contour. So get the darkest shade of foundation you can find, or get you a dark contour stick. Mine is a contour stick from Black Opal. I'm just positioning it in areas that I want to look sculpted and thinner. And now I'm using my beauty blender to blend it out. Blend every liquid on your face until it starts to look like skin. This helps your makeup look very smooth, so that when you apply your powder on, it already has that seamless finish, and it will be easier for you to blend your powder with your brushes as well. I'll be using the lightest shade of powder on my MiColor powder palette to set my concealer under my eye. Remember I said earlier that I'm going for a bright under eye look. So yes, your concealer doesn't have to be as bright as mine is, but yeah, you have to set it in with a powder similar to it. Then the trick that I use is, after doing that, I go in with a shade that is more closer to my tone, yeah, and then I use that to cover up the powder that I already previously used. This is a hack that I love using. I like to mix two powder shades together to get my exact powder shade, and then I use that mix to blend out every other powder on my face. When I put on my blush, I use that mix to blend it in. When I use my highlights, I use that mix to blend it in. Right now, as I'm blending in my powder, it's the exact same mix I'm using. So it's a hack that you should definitely try. Believe me, it makes it so much easier for you to just blend your powders away. Don't forget to powder your eyelids so it doesn't crease. I'm going in with my favorite blush. I love using blush on my face. Now, if this isn't for you, you can actually decide to opt this part out. But I like using blush, so I'm going with the shade on my cheeks. So it just has and draws attention. I'm going to be using the mix I told you about earlier to blend in my blush so it doesn't look shouty on my skin. It just looks more even toned. I really like this hack. You should try it out too. With an angled brush, I will be picking the darkest shade of contour on my powder palette, and I'll be using that powder to sculpt the bridge of my nose. I actually prefer doing this to using cream contour, but I'll be making a video where I use cream contour for those of you that are interested. But in the meantime, I'll be using this brush to basically outline this feature of my face and sculpting it through until I'm satisfied. And when I'm done, I'll be using the mix of the two powder shades I told you about earlier on to just blend it through. Now I'm going to use a bright powder to place under my brows as a base for the highlight I'll be adding later on. This just makes it pop. I'll be using this setting spray to set my look together and using a brush to press it in. The setting spray helps your makeup last longer and reduces that powdery look. So when you're outside in public, your face doesn't look like you just packed on too much powder on your face. So get yourself a setting spray. Time for some fluffy lashes. I love these eyelashes so much because they complement my eye shape. So use lashes you're comfortable with. Now I will be powdering my lips because I'm about to put on some lipstick. You need to use powder on your lip because it creates a clear base for your lipstick to pop more on. So I'm now about to line my lip with a regular eyebrow pencil that I just got from a store. It's nothing too special. It's the brown eye pencil that I used for my eyebrows earlier. I'll be using this maroon lipstick shade from my Blossom Makeup lipstick palette. I'll be picking that and using it as the base, like the first color that I'll be adding onto my lip. I intend to create an ombre lipstick look, so I'm going for a darker shade at the outer corner, and then I'll be adding in a lighter shade in the inner corner and finishing it off with a very bright nude and blending it together to achieve an ombre look. this is my favorite part, using highlighter. I love to use this glow kit from Zikel Cosmetics. I'm guaranteeing you that if you haven't gotten this glow kit, you should give it a try now. Every shimmer on every single highlight in this palette is, oh god, is giving. Yeah, so I'll be applying this highlight in the inner corners of my eye, my bottom lid, under my brows, on my nose bridge, on my cheekbones, on my cupid's bow, on my chin. Yeah, so I'll be doing that to just have a pop to it, so that when the light hits my face, you'll be like, who is this fine girl? So I'm using a little bit of powder and just dabbing it on my highlight so that it doesn't look too shouty, especially when I'm outside. So this is a hack that you should definitely give a try. And now
I shine so bright, you